Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today is April 22nd. We are back in Vermont. Today we are going to revisit some unfinished business from last year. The area where I had a suspicion the family group was within the last 2 years, because I still have some limited options in this area. We're going to go in there and do a sweep through there and check on some things. So we have a little bit of a focused plan today, and that's what we're going to hope to accomplish. And I've already been told by somebody that was on their way out at the time that we are possibly going to run into a bear and or a moose today, because they're both within the general vicinity. We'll see what happens. If we get them on film, that wouldn't be such a bad thing, as long as they're not aggressive. So we're going to get moving and see what success we have for today, and we'll check in and record as things prove interesting. So let's get moving. Okay, so we are at our location, and the plan simply is we are going to come in here and do a focal check for tracks, signs of life, any activity, with the aforementioned admission that most activity in this potential area is likely to be 2 years old, unless they've cycled back through, indicative of some kind of movement pattern I would then have to decipher. And then we are going to go a little further up and then down the hill, because that's where we originally picked up on signs of activity in this relative area during that time period. We are going to attempt to find the pond that has eluded me, in the hope that this time of year minimal undergrowth is going to facilitate that more so than the fall did. And that is basically our plan. So we are making our approach now. As I near the pond, I am going to stop talking so that we can get out there and maintain a more quiet approach. Beginning now. Pond seems very low. Start covering my mouth, because I will. So we don't seem to have any immediate company at the pond. Although crunching through this shit and yapping, I'm sure I announced myself nicely. So let's see what we got. We are at the right pond. So our feeling is the pond is sort of diagonally that way. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick sweep for tracks momentarily, but we're going to get the drone in the air and we're going to cheat and position the pond vis-a-vis ourselves, because we have little to no wind today. So it's an ideal day to get an aerial from this location, which is what I'm going to do. And we're going to, if I'm right by way of the map though, from Google Maps, The measurement is from the beaver pond, or the beaver dam. It doesn't look like one because it's overgrown, but in there. And then from that direction, it's a couple 100 yards. But you have to go up over that hill, I believe. So we're going to... Actually, if that is dry, we might make an approach from here and go over that way. But we're going to go around there first and look for tracks. But enough yapping out of me. Let's get the drone in the air and have a look, and then get on a game plan to make our approach. We'll be back in a few. Okay, a quick check-in. We have gotten the drone back, and based on a whole lot of good visibility, the measuring mark is that little snowbank over there and up that hill, and that is where we are going to head, because I believe that is where the pond is. It's a water source, and if they were way the hell up in there last year, it might go a long way to explain why I couldn't get up at them, but we're going to do that this year. I was coming in last year from the wrong side of the freaking stream, so today, even if we get our feet wet, we are going to go at that angle and get up in there, because there's no real excuse. I can see where that is, and that angle up that hill is probably the easiest way up there, so that is what we're about to do. I'm going to take a quick segment break to get across the stream and hopefully not get my feet soaking wet crossing the stream over there, and possibly two crossings. There might be a second stream over there. Otherwise, looks dry enough, and we are going to get up in there and check out that pond and signs of life up over that hill. So we will be back. Okay, so long story short, the drone lied. It's all grabber bushes in here. I'm already all scraped up. But we're up in this stuff, and we are 100 feet or so in, hoping that by line of sight we can find the pond in this mess of shite. There's really no easy way through this because it's all grabber bushes. So the only positive is if they are in here with us, I fail to see how they won't be heard going through this crap. We'll do our best to film this for audience participation as we go through this. I will put the camera away if I have to focus with hands-free, though. Easier said than done. Also not really liking the radical downhill nature of this, but we'll see where we can find that pond. We may have found it with a network. It's right fucking there. Massively downhill, but it's right there. I see it. Now it's just a matter of approaching it. Ow! My shins are going to be shredded when I get down there. Okay, so once you get all through the fun and games of this, and where's my arm? There's my scrape. That's how you know you've had a good hike, when you're all chewed up. But yes, it's right down there. We're going to get down there today. However, I now know what a bitch it is to get in here. So back is back that way. There's no easy way through. You're going through a lot of that grabber crap. The way down from here potentially deceptively looks easier. So that's the major thing to accomplish today. This eluded me multiple times last year, and now I am like within striking distance of it, and I can see the damn thing. Game over, pond. Game over. And I'm going to go genteelly down this little slope, which at least seems to be gradual part of the way. And then this is how you know the warmer weather is here, and that, because I'm not stuck in the local areas where we had some limitations this year. We are actually out in the thick of shit having fun. And I know that there are going to be various people in the comments saying stay safe. I do my best. But one does not get into areas like this without getting a little stuffed up. 'Tis what it is. And may the grabber bushes die in a burning hell of their own creation. Let's see how far down we have to go here. if there's an easy way, or if this is all descent through grabber or whatnot. Because there is that magical part of me that, but I mean, this is like a straight downhill descent. Getting down here is, I want at least a good look. That is a steep ass hill though. So I think what happened last year was we're going to definitely need to be hands-free if we do get down there. So if I go, let's see, angle around this, go down there, and let's get to that bluff and have a better look. So we'll do that. Little course in some minor engineering for those that want to pay attention here. It looks like this might be doable with relative care. I don't trip over anything like this stick right here. I'm going to actually step on shit and break it so I don't. And then we can go down. The fun is going to be getting back out. But it seems doable with a little care going up the hill and then back down the hill. We just have to test that enough of these little saplings are going to have enough strength to pull me back up. But the goal of the day lays in front of us, thanks to our friend the drone. Although he did nothing to prepare me for the level of steepness of Yay Hill, but that's what we have to go back up. So that'll be interesting. But there may yet be a easier way up. Although it sure as hell ain't looking like it. Maybe over there. And then you can make your way up along the ridge over here. That might be easier, since we're already down there. Okay. So this is what lies ahead. I heard a bee. Where's the bee? Or is that a nest of hornets? It's going to prove to be an unpleasant surprise. Alright, so our last obstacle is this log right there. And or I slide down on my ass and then work our way back up to that ridge up there. Tricky but doable. I have to work with this log. Alright, and then it levels off. And 2 foothills more. And then we just get from the way back out is going to be up here where it's a little more level, along here, and then up there, and then it goes back where we have to scramble through shit for about 200-300 yards or so, maybe less. But you elude me no more, little one. Okay. There is a big meadow too on this. Let's get down to the side. We'll do a time check. And the large meadow where I think they were is effectively over there. If that's not on camera. Hello, hello. How's ducks off in the corner? We need to probably, there we go. Let's take a look at the lovely splendor of this place. I won't be surprised if I don't have a signal in here though, because the so this is our pond. I'm definitely going to take some pictures before we leave. Getting out's going to be fun, but one thing at a time. Since I didn't bring camping gear, sleeping in here is not really an option, so we'll have to dig our way back up. But we can do it. We might get chewed up doing it, but we can do it. There's levels around here where it's less crazy. And I mean, we're basically up and over a hill a couple 100 feet from where we came in. It's not that far. It's just the terrain going through here is crazy. So I'm going to make my way over there because I want to look into the meadow that if the drone is not a complete liar and piece of poop, then that's where that was. So what we just came down, for the sake of audience appreciation, is I don't know if that does justice, but when I recenter, pretty steep. Not thoroughly undoable. It's probably going to be a little bit of a beast to climb out, but we're going to go the path of least resistance, which is going to be probably this angle right here. And then the one thing that those grabber bushes will be useful for is being to pull yourself back up to at least where you're on that ridge line. And we can work about 50 feet over there and then make our way back at angle to where we started. Little forest ninja-ry. Is that the right word? Ninja-ry? A lot of deer tracks down in here. We were going to do a time check, weren't we? It is 11:36. Day is young. So okay, so we think we found a easier ascent, not an easier progress out, because we still have to go through this kind of crap. But that notwithstanding, we have a simple enough plan. We're going to get over and check out the meadow, which is, I think, over there. Looks like a big opening. And then basically, just for the sake of having worked our way around, we have to get back up there and work our way up around, basically from the corner up there, which is probably easier said than done. We're probably going to attempt it from over here and work our way along the ridge line that way, if that works. If not, I'll come back down and re-angle because I don't want to get lost in there. But then we come back out, come to the pond, and we're pretty much good to go. But we are going to check over this hill and find the meadow because it's immediately adjacent to this pond, if you're to believe the maps. Or the drone pretty much showed the same thing. So I am happy though, because this is the pond that has eluded me, and as peaceful and lovely as it looks, it is a bitch to get in here. It really, 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 really is. The descent sucks and the ascent has not been done yet to get back out. So kind of a cool looking beaver split off of a log here. I might even do for giggles, do a live stream in here, because I checked my phone and apparently I have 4 bars in here. I have no fucking idea how. Pardon my French. I have no idea how I have 4 bars down in the middle of nowhere in here, but apparently I do. And then we found this. My foot to that. So here's the thing. I don't know how old these are. There's one there too. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, the family unit, I believe, had a toddler with them. Sized individual in the family. These tracks would be synonymous with that, but that was 2 years ago. So here's where we have conjecture, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, we don't know that that's a track to anything. Number two, if it were, how much does an adolescent Sasquatch, how fast do they age, how quickly do they grow in their lifespans? Because I would think after 2 years, their tracks would be larger than that. That is a very, let's actually get a picture of that. I'm going to have sloppy video for a minute because I need to use the camera hand. Bear with me, because I do want a picture of this. I'm not saying it is anything, but it is interesting enough to take a photo of. Total length is likely, and this is visual guesstimation. Let's have a look here in real time if my camera can stop being an asshole. I have to turn the camera off. I might have to turn the camera off. No, it's behaving now. Sorry, it was confused. So, right there. I'm not saying it's anything, but it is that interesting shape where there looks to be like a toe pad and a ball, a heel, and possible toe shapes. It is not proof of anything, but it is one of the more interesting things I found today. So we are going to make note of it. So again, here's the fun with them. They had one kid, and this is complete speculation on my part, so bear with me, but they had one kid, and getting into this area is a bitch. So if they do kind of spend time in here, more than easy to understand how and why, because there is zero human litter in here. There's like no sign of anything but animal life. And there's another one that could be, that's a double step or something. I'm talking about that. That right there. It's almost the same shape, but a lot more dubiously shaped. So, but there's a few over here that look like that. So so far things that are like basically that shape and size are 5 and 6 in a concentrated area. So interesting. Not enough to be proof per se. Let's walk over by the mud actually. Take a quick look over here. Not surprisingly, they don't seem to like the deep, crappy mud like any more than I do. I wonder why. As if sinking up to your knees in mud is a pleasant thing. But okay. Here is, of course, a Northeastern Expedition tradition. It's not an actual expedition unless you see moose shit. That is a rule. That is a hard and fast rule. You don't see moose shit, you haven't been out in the deep, deep woods. But here we go. All right, so we found 4 or 5 tracks that are, there's our meadow. Okay. So I guess we're going to call today a dry run on getting in and out of this area because it's the first time I've actually pulled it off. And in undergrowth in latter parts of the summer, it's only going to be more beastly, I think. But now that we're here, we're at the tail end of the pond, and there's the meadow beyond. What's that looking like? Got to get around this over there and at least get a look in there. I'm not going to commit to a major entry in there today. Only because I have need to ascend back out of this place. But gots to love the fact that I got down in here. Yeah, this would be the meadow because the other one was too small. This is our boy. Interesting indent there, but nothing positive. Proof positive of, rather, as I invert words, because I just apparently did that. So the way in looks like another descent. We're not going to do that today. But we are able to now gauge the level of interest in getting down into this thing. I'm purposely not going to vocalize right now. Oh yeah, that's another descent down there. Everything goes fucking downhill, and then you got to go all the way back uphill to get in and out of here. But you were here, folks, for the I do want to have a look, though. Although, again, true to the nature of the place, you got all these charming little root balls and things. But if I can work between these two root balls, there's an official Mystery Pond tadpole. The pond from this end. I'll be getting pictures from over here just because I can prior to making my way back out. But let's get a look. I'm going to walk through a cloud of bugs at this over there. If I can get over this and just, I'd be happy if I get right to that little bluff right there. So first mental note, the entrance to the stream, to the meadow, is more of a swamp with a running stream. But here we go. Just to give you a sense of the size of the meadow. It's sizable, so the fun's going to be to find an angle down into that, which we're not going to do today, but when we take a day off and we have time to maybe get lost and find our way out, as I have my little friend, my Zolio, with me now. We're not going to do it today, but there's like potential fishing down there too. I guarantee you no one fishes in here. I have a nice little telescoping rod that we could go get in here and maybe do some dinner and camp in here. That would be friggin' spectacular, because you're not going to get in here easily. So what I'm going to do at this point is take a quick segment break, and we are going to get some photography of the obviousness of this place and then figure out our way out and back up. Nothing in here is without a descent or an ascent, which this... So I don't know if this is giving the view justice, but we've come up that. And much as I thought, the ascent sucked. So here's where I actually will praise grabber bushes for a second, because they were there for you to grab. And because they are rooted so delightfully freaking firm as they are, you can actually use them to pull yourself up, because without that, getting up, quite honestly, probably would have been me digging into the freaking ground with my hands. It was that steep, and there's that much undergrowth, and there's things to climb up and around, and not a lot of fun had by all. But we were down in that. It's an awesome area. We will get back down in there. I might actually use paracord and rappel down the next time. That might actually be an easier thing to do. A side note to Mr. Raffenberger, a member of ours. When we were here 2 years ago in November, we decided, or October rather, we decided that your knee was bugging you and you wouldn't want to climb back out of here. I'm not going to say you were wrong, because it is steep and it is an arduous climb in and out. So, awesome area. Tracks were found potentially today, and we're on our way back out. So we're going to do a quick segment break, because I probably need both hands to climb back down. And from there we will regroup at the other pond, and we'll be back in a few. All right, we have regrouped back at the other pond. We spared you the grumbling and the scramble back down the hill over there, which doesn't look as steep from down here as it did up there. But that's when you're not going through all the brambles and fun. So we're over here now, and we're about to make our way back out. We're going to make quite a quick diversion to the east and go down and further in a ways to see if we solicit any response from anybody in the neighborhood. I don't foresee that, but it's worth a shot before we head out. The pond no longer eludes us. It is embarrassingly a lot closer than I thought, but we'll get back in there in the course of time. But for anyone that wants to make the journey with me, your feet will get muddy, they will get wet, and you will get scraped up. And you're going to want to permethrin your stuff before you go in there. So it's not an easy hike. It's not a glamorous hike. but the area that you enter into is that awesome, so something to bear in mind. For now, we are going to take a segment break and make our way out and make a diversion to the south and the east and see if we scare up anything there before we start heading back. I call today a mission accomplished with an unexpected potential set of track finds. Basically 5 and 6 tracks in the same immediate area of probably 50 square yards. Same size and basic shape with a distinctive ball of foot and like heel shape to them. Roughly the same size, about 6 inches in length, so this would be a youngster, if it is one of them. And kind of like a toe spot. I took a picture of one of them for visual inspection if you want to make comments on the other way. And I was going to actually look for tracks over here too, since I did find those over there. Maybe they are romping around in here again. So I am going to make my way over there first, actually, before we head out. The day's young enough, we're going to cover all the bases while we're here, get our money's worth. And then we'll make our way back and out. But good day so far. Any day when you find some potential evidence is a good day. Any day when you go into an awesome area like that and get all scuffed up, feel like you had a manly day out, that's a good thing. That's the kind of stuff that keeps us moving, keeps us going. To the Johns, you missed out. Maybe next time. You both have been here, you both know it's a cool area. Deer tracks with a weird little dent pattern, but still deer tracks. Could be anything. Unless, of course, I find other like shaped tracks, in which case I'll perk up like I did over there. But we're going to go take a walk around the other side before we head out. Just because that way we're kind of covering the ground. Next week I have plans to hit another new area that is to the north of here. I don't know, I'm going to have to do some Google mapping to plan out target areas in there. Like I said, it's new ground, so I haven't been in there before. Here I've been before, so I have a little bit more of a lay of the land, and I can kind of gauge what I want to check out. And I am psyched that I found tracks in that area, though, because I always felt in the last 2 years they were in there, potentially. And again, I'm speculating, but the last time I was here, when I found tracks, there were mom and dad size tracks and then the little ones, indicative of, like, this is speculation again, but they were aggressive and happy to show me the door on more than one occasion when they were in a given area and I knew where they were. My theory being that they were expecting, and Daddy was feeling a bit protective of the missus, and I wandered in on them on a day when they weren't feeling like having company. And I elicited a territorial response where they were happy to show me the door or the error of my ways had I stayed longer. So if people would be asking, do you feel like you were in danger that day? My answer is not at the point that I chose to leave and take the hint. But had I pressed my luck, you don't want to find that out the hard way, because I was far enough out that what do they do if they do actually attack people and even just rough them up and then leave them unconscious in the brush? What do they do with them then? Just dump them somewhere? Eat them? Answers I don't really need to have if I'm on the receiving end of that. So nothing over here so far. Plenty of mud though to work with too, though. But we're about at the end of where you might find tracks. I'm looking around. Go to that little mound over here. Sizable deer or moose track, and then nothing over here, unless it's, well, it's overgrown too, so it's, there have been times of the year when there's more mud over here, making for better tracking. So now we will get back over to where the beaver pond is, and we'll make a double check as we go through here. Excuse me. And my hopes are somewhat justified, because if you're looking here now versus you look at some of the videos from here last year, you have a lot less undergrowth. So you can at least see 100 feet or so ahead of you. And I actually want to camp down in that area now. With a properly equipped backpack and like a hammock setup or something, you could probably get back in there, and the comings and goings of things at night would probably be very interesting in there. So I will throw that out as a challenge to the Johns if they're willing for some interesting week out. That would be an interesting thing. My plans start out with a 3-day hike. Might be shorter because I actually double checked the time. Now they're saying the combined time for the hike, if you're doing like a straight through hike, is over 10 hours, but if you're going through and actually checking the scenery and looking for sign, you're going to obviously be going at a more leisurely pace. So, but you can still do that in 2 days, because if you plan to do it over the course of like a Saturday and Sunday, or a Friday and a Saturday into Sunday, you are looking at, what, 5 hours a day? That's easily done. Even at a leisurely pace, that's a pretty doable thing. And if there are some areas that are more interesting than others, then obviously you can focus on those. If you end up in a situation where you end up with nothing but through hikers and a whole crap ton of freaking human traffic going through there, then you know that it's not a worthy area, because you're probably up against that factor. But not having been through there yet, we don't know that yet. So we'll take that into account when we get there. So one last look at this. The unfortunate nature is when we come back, you probably won't have the snowbank over there as a marker, because with the help of the drone flyover, that marked it out perfectly. You walk to the end of that and head up at that angle, and damned if you don't walk right to it. It's just a matter of getting down in there, walking through. You walk up through the brambles, you walk down through the brambles, you walk through the brambles. So brambles are basically your future if you go in there. That being said, can be done. I have photos to prove it. They're already on Facebook, because for some weird angle, I actually do have a signal in here. But I am going to start making my way out, and we're going to walk a little bit to the southeast, see if we elicit any traffic, and we are going to then start working our way back. And somewhere in the middle we will do a wrap-up of things. For now, though, the predictable segment break is going to occur, and we're going to start making our way out. We will be back in a bit. Okay, so as promised, we're going to do a wrap-up here. We went a little further out. It was quiet. If they're not about, they're not about. But we did potentially find tracks in the pond that had eluded me. So we do have that victory for the day. This is where we are going to wrap things up. Just blow a bug off my forearm. And we are going to say, if the mood strikes you, like and subscribe. If you want to, leave comments, questions, tell me I suck. I don't know. Whatever moves you to do so. And then this is where we're going to wrap this up. So we will see you next time. And